Hey, what's going on, guys? Just driving to Rochester right now. Wanted to do a quick video-ish. So, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease in like 2019-ish while I was in college. And it's not something that I knew about, prior to that. I had never really heard of it. I mean, my mom had thyroid issues, still has them to this day. But, so I'd heard of hypothyroidism and that sort of thing, but I had not heard of Hashimoto's in itself. So, basically, I'm more going to talk about Hashimoto's and how it's affected, like, exercise and what it kind of did with me, and then like what happened after I took my medication and that sort of thing. But initially, like, I had a really bad like thyroid attack basically while I was in college, and it bricked me up pretty bad for a little while, and I kind of had to take like a couple days and go see my doctor and shit, and all of the symptoms, like heart rate went up, trouble breathing, like anxiety, like blood pressure went pretty high. It was kind of a crazy thing. And then when I talked to my doctor, we ended up kind of figuring out down the line what it was. But once I started taking my medications, one of the biggest things I noticed was that my fitness like started to really get to the point where it should have been, but just couldn't because I was being held back by the thyroid issues. So like thyroid hormone, like T3 and T4, like if you don't have adequate amounts of it in your body's not going to be able to peak physically or get to where it wants to be. Like, you'll still get better when you train, but without sufficient amounts, like, it's not going to get to where it needs to be. So I remember my 2-mile time was like 13:10. I couldn't break 13 for the life of me. I was in ROTC, and during our PT tests, I always could hit like 13:10, but I could never break it for the life of me, no matter how hard I trained. Once I started taking my medication like regularly and I hit euthyroid status, which means like your thyroid is at a neutral level, that where it's supposed to be, I broke 13 pretty easily. I hit like 12:35 was one of my best times after I started taking my medication. I also noticed
Miles, take exit 25A for I-90 West toward Buffalo.
GPS. I also noticed my face start to slim down a lot. Like, I noticed everything be less rounded and less like fat on the sides, and then more leaned out. Same with like my waist and that sort of thing. I started to see like fat deposits that no longer existed. It started to like lean out. Nothing too crazy. Like, I didn't drop like 20 pounds or something, but I definitely saw my body kind of lean into it. And the way I viewed it was that my body basically got to the point that it was always supposed to be. I was training like crazy even when my thyroid was fucked up. And the way I see it is that the training I was doing was not producing the results it should have until I started taking the thyroid hormone, and then everything got back to normal.
A mile, take exit 25A for I-90 West toward Buffalo.
Damn, GPS. That's the biggest thing I saw, was that my fitness like improved. Not like crazy good, but it got to the point where it should have been. As of now, I've been taking
25A.
the medication for upwards of 3 years now. So I've been in a euthyroid status for a while.
You're a mile, keep right at the fork. Follow signs for I-90 West,
And
Buffalo.
I would say that since I've been taking it, I might even have trouble like gaining weight. We'll see. I'm actually like running a gainer right now to see, you know, if I can gain some weight and muscle
Right at the
and
fork.
whatnot, and try and put on a little bit. So I've been eating quite a bit. I'm like up to 162 right
Go
now.
on I-90 West for 66
I
miles.
was like 155 or so. As far as that goes, like we'll see how far I get up to. Before I took the thyroid hormone and when it was still screwed up, I got as heavy when I was younger, as heavy as 210 when I was just eating and lifting everything. And the lowest I've ever gotten was like 150 when my thyroid was screwed up. So my situation's been kind of funny because a lot of people will tell you that they've had severe trouble gaining or losing weight. And for the most part, I haven't. We'll find out since I've been in a euthyroid status, like if I can put on some substantial weight in the next couple months or so. But I've noticed that as well. Other than that, I haven't had any problems regarding exercise or any other like thyroid attack issues or episodes during or after exercise or any of that. I would just say that if you're like constantly tired, like if you're working out and you're constantly tired all the time, and you feel like your like workouts, like you're eating correctly and you're still not like losing weight, you're definitely in a calorie deficit and you're still not losing weight or this sort of thing, or if you've ever had like any of the symptoms I had, like when I had the freaking thyroid attack, it almost seemed like it was a panic attack, but that's not like me. That's a very weird situation. I've never had like a legit panic attack, and I'm not like a anxious person that like freaks out about everything. So that was kind of weird for that to come on, and then it turns out it wasn't. So if you're having symptoms like that, it's something that you might be worth bringing up to your doctor about and having them check that out. Because once I got on the medication, my life improved a ton, and my workouts and everything got to the point where they needed to be. And if your thyroid's not where it needs to be, from my case, you can work out like crazy and still not look the way that you think you should, or be where you're supposed to be at for how much effort you put in. But I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. Comment, like, subscribe. I'm doing a bunch of different content, just talking about some of the stuff in my life and whatnot, and some other different things. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment, and I'll answer them. Because this is something I've had to deal with for a bit and was unknown to me for a while. But appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.